All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Lynn and Romantic, taking place here on Northern Isle. I was trying to spend the time trying to fix things, get things right, trying to get the overlay to work, only to realize that Blizzard created another micro patch, and hopefully it doesn't break replays. Um, yeah, micro patch. The current overlay does not support. Pad needs to work on that, and we may be going through constant integration, constant deployment of Warcraft 3 Reforged 2.0 until that is completed. Hopefully, it doesn't break replays. It doesn't break existing features. There is supposedly a development team now, and we'll see what really comes of that. I am using the upgraded reforged classic graphics, and I don't know, like, do you guys really see a difference? Let me know what you guys think about these particular graphics. I know the HUD looks a little bit different as well. The shadows are a little bit different, and I also made some changes to my game sounds and things like that, so things do actually look a little bit smoother than the last game I cast, where I was using classic instead of reforged classic, as we see the invincible army opening coming in from Romantic. Alright, so here I was trying to start talking about Warcraft 3 Reforged 2.0 patches, and Romantic instead going to give us something I wasn't expecting in this human vs. orc matchup: Paladin and Riflemen. Alright, so Paladin, Rifleman opening things up in this matchup here. Farseer gonna move out with Spirit Wolves and Grunts. Easy way to tell that these are the upgraded graphics are the shadows are actual particles instead of just, well, things underneath them. But I've said this in the past, because there is this day-night cycle in Warcraft 3, it actually removed some of the immersion for me to see these shadows constantly in play, as though there was a big light source coming in from the bottom left-hand corner, always casting a shadow to the top right, as opposed to just like, hey, I got a shadow underneath me. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down here. Romantic opening things up with that Paladin as expected. I'm going to go ahead and take down this Murloc Flesh Eater. Farseer going to come across. Also, the backpack looks a little bit different. It doesn't feel as clean to me as the classic backpack, and how things look. Yeah, just also how they look. Also, remember that this game was made for CRT monitors, and in CRT monitors, there's actually a little bit of blending that happens in the pixels. So perhaps these particular particles were never meant to look so clean, as we see a holy light go down for the Paladin there to save that peasant. Meanwhile, Town Hall getting upgraded here. Paladin doing a little bit of a chase back and forth. They're going to go ahead and engage, and now make its way back off to the north here. Trying to... Yeah, pretty wide open spaces, as the Paladin and the Rifleman are going to look to engage, being able to push that Farseer back. Tech to Tier 2 nearly done for Lynn. Meanwhile, Tech to Tier 2 by Romantic is significantly delayed, as expected, as a lot of lumber went early on into training up these Riflemen, right? Getting that Blacksmith earlier, being able to... getting that Blacksmith earlier. Each Rifleman costs a little bit more lumber as well, further delaying that Tech to Tier 2. Ice Troll gonna easily get finished off here. Broadside of a barn type of shooting, as the Paladin now gonna be getting Devotion Aura. So already up to 10 armor on that Paladin, also giving additional 2 armor to each of those Riflemen, essentially giving 0-1 upgrades if you're standing next to that Paladin. Coming back across into the center portion of the map, we see Ice Troll Warlord. That is going to get cleared out here. Farseer with Headhunters and Grunt looking to, well, open things up. Meanwhile, Paladin not too far away, still tanking a bit of that damage. Makes sense, as that Paladin is in fact that, well, tanky frontline hero, has a decent amount of hit points, and with that heavy armor, or that high armor, able to reduce the amount of damage that he is taking. Natural regeneration there. Oh, I should, yeah, I should expand that just a little bit more, try to make things a little bit more cleaner. Still getting used to this new overlay and what I really want to see from it. All right, is this I don't know. Let me know if this is a good zoom out length. I feel like it's right, but sometimes some players want to see a little bit closer in on the action. Difficult to tell. So that seems to be the spot where I want it to be. Let me know if you guys like it a little bit closer than this, or if you guys like it further away. Just getting adjusted. Any more further back, the curvature of the map actually just feels a bit weird. It actually feels weird to me now. So I like.
Are under attack.
Yeah, I wanted to be a little bit further behind than this, but that was one scroll click pushing in. All right, Tauren Chieftain already out on the battlefield. That Endurance Aura, those units are moving quickly across the battlefield here. Meanwhile, Paladin also wandering around, placing down Sentry Ward, trying to get a good sense of where that Tauren Chieftain is. As the Tauren Chieftain takes a purge, and the Headhunters are getting quite a bit of hope. Who's going to get the experience there? Tauren Chieftain gets the experience off of that Null Overseer, as we are now seeing some shots fired as the Tauren Chieftain tries to run by. No Scroll of Speed, just that Endurance Aura movement, as we see a little bit of slow poison go across on those units as well. All right, low hit point or scouting Riflemen now heading back to see if there's any additional units. Paladin now making its way over, doesn't have Boots of Speed, but still able to keep up with that Headhunter fairly easily, even though he has Endurance Aura. All right, a little bit of a slowdown there once more. Headhunter still trying to retreat back. Rifleman perhaps going to try to get in a couple of easy shots here. The Paladin can easily heal up that Rifleman. Remember, 400 hit point heals right there. Rifleman back up, as well as we see the Blood Mage as the supporting hero in order to siphon mana and give it back to that Paladin. Mana battery strategy, as we are looking at more Riflemen getting trained. We are getting up a lumber mill, and that is it for now. There's a couple of Raiders, Headhunters, and Grunts ready to knock on the front door, as we are looking at the Blood Mage looking to get up to level 2, picks up a Talisman of Evasion, now going to head back as the Paladin and Riflemen are looking to work together here. All right, we're going to see one kill there. The Headhunter able to take down that last shot there. We're still looking at more fighting Riflemen coming in from behind here, and with that, the Riflemen able to get in some easy damage from behind there, siphon mana back into that Paladin. Blood Mage acting as that mana battery, as the Paladin does want to heal up those units and then let some natural mana regeneration still occur. Low hit point Headhunter could have a very bad day. One shot, two shot, one more shot should do it. Yes, it does get taken down. Ensnare gift wrapped Raider, is it going to be able to get away? It looks like it will be able to do exactly that. Down to 271 hit points. Riflemen were not all lined up to shoot it down. Tuskar Trapper gonna try to wrap up a Rifleman there. Blood Mage gets to level 2. Meanwhile, a Grunt is attempting to break down the farm here. Grunt's not going to be able to do enough here, as the Militia now making their way over as well. Now, we are at tier 2, and we see that Lin is going for Pillage. He also has the reinforced defenses already done. Very important to get those reinforced defenses early to prevent the amount of damage that these Riflemen are able to do. Even though they're not magic damage, because the fact that they are ranged and they can easily focus fire those burrows, they do tend to become a bit of a target. Meanwhile, Tauren Chieftain going to finish off some units here, sitting at level 2 now as well. We could see a potential dive into this position. All right, Voodoo Lounge going to take quite a bit of damage here quickly. Paladin up in that front line spot, trying to stop that Voodoo Lounge from being able to sell any of its goods. Meanwhile, the Watchtower, while it's being upgraded, does not have any armor, and you can see how quickly that needed to get canceled. All right, Voodoo Lounge about to get taken down here. Orc Burrows are lobbing attacks back. You can see that Paladin is going to try to keep a little bit of distance. The Paladin can heal anyone except himself. Hence, let the Blood Mage be the one to take the damage, and then, heal up the Blood Mage instead. One peon down. Tauren Chieftain off on the side here, trying to get to level 3, still staying at level 2, as the Farseer is lining up more units to attack. Orc Burrow pressure still raging on in. The Paladin is not the one taking any of the damage right now. Taking, I guess, a little bit of focus fire here, as one Orc Burrow down now. All right, 46 over 41 supply. No additional units can be trained. We are looking at steel metal weapon upgrades as the Orc army coming in, well, to try and, well, get in some damage. We see some ensnares. The grunt, well, quickly walks in and is on the receiving end of a bunch of focus fire damage. Scroll of Town Portal is needed to get out. There's a Siphon Mana Tauren Chieftain. There's a banish onto, well, onto a Rifleman to protect him from any more damage there. Blood Mage. Well, typical typical Asian parenting. I love you, so I'm banishing you. So yeah, make sure you don't let that happen again. Anyways, Paladin coming back around could Holy Light the Rifleman. Just gonna let the Scroll of Regeneration do its thing though. Paladin is maxed out on mana. Coming back across the other side, we're looking at the supply counts. Where are we at? 45 over 41. Rifleman gonna go ahead and try and engage, getting in some shots onto that, onto those units there. As we see some Null Brutes doing a bit of long chasing. All right, long chasing coming across here. Raider is gonna try. Tauren Chieftain coming back in from the far side. A little bit of poke damage, and this Paladin strategy, we are looking at 2-0 upgrades. We are not getting, well, we are finally getting those armor upgrades that I expected to see earlier. Armor upgrades are incredibly important in this fight, as it just makes the Paladin's overall heal that much more effective. There's also peasants off on the side here. What are these peasants doing? They're just standing in this weird spot. We're going to see the Tauren Chieftain come in and perhaps get in a stomp. There's that stomp there, and stunning down all that damage, and then adding in a lightning shield. All right, lightning shield there, and well, some Holy Light. There is another stomp. I believe the Blood Mage was trying to siphon mana, unable to do so, as now going to siphon mana away from that Farseer. More lightning shield coming across onto all of these units, as the Tauren Chieftain's lightning shield is slowly eating away at these Riflemen. All right, Riflemen taking quite a bit of damage. There's some more damage again and again, as the Riflemen are just staggered a bit. Their Scroll of Healing, I believe, was already used. Peasants also absorbing quite a bit of damage, as well as we're looking at level 3 now on the Blood Mage. Blood Mage sitting at level 3 should be able to siphon mana at a much quicker rate. The grunts are just getting shot apart here, as Focus Fire is working out extremely well. Are we going to see some more more Holy Lights, as we're looking at an Arcane Vault also being built? Raider trying to dive in, Rifleman trying to back away. All of the units have taken a large amount of damage, but the heroes seem to be okay for now. Peasants continuing to battle it up here. Where's that Paladin in that frontline spot? Are we going to see that? Well, there's a Holy Light saving that low hit point Rifleman, as we're still looking at a tactical retreat back out now. All right, Chain Lightning. Are any more Riflemen going to fall? One more Rifleman falls there. We're looking at 34 supply compared to 39. There's a Scroll of Regeneration ready to rinse and repeat. A Paladin also using up a Clarity Potion. Blood Mage also going to use up a Clarity Potion as well before they venture forth again. 39 over 62 supply. More Riflemen getting trained up there. No additional armor upgrades yet. Meanwhile, 36 over 51, low hit point Raider and a new Voodoo Lounge needs to be placed down. All right, by constantly taking down that Voodoo Lounge, it is making it just that much more difficult to be able to well, heal up those units out of combat. Not having those healing salves mean that the Raiders kind of need to hide themselves until that Voodoo Lounge is completed. Blood Mage giving more mana to that Paladin there, and they're going to be venturing forth again. This one Raider trying to hide off to the side here. Perhaps a healing salve can be purchased from the newly built shop and get that Raider back into fighting condition. All right. Farseer finally out of mana again. Are we going to look at a Holy Light onto the Rifleman? 2-1 upgrades. Well, essentially 2-3 upgrades now that the Paladin is nearby with that Devotion Aura. All right. Units still looking to engage here. There's a little bit of a tap once more. We're getting ready to engage again. 47 over 51 supply. Blood Mage is here. Paladin is here. as well, the grunt taking quite a bit of damage. Are we going to see the Tauren Chieftain? Yes, going to try and stomp here. Going to finally get the stomp or ensnare, and then the stomp followed by the lightning shield. Lightning shield, Tauren Chieftain really racking up quite a bit of damage. Grunts also getting that there as we see Scroll of Speed being used. Tauren Chieftain using a invul potion as well. Going to be able to throw down another stomp. That level 2 stomp dealing stunning out so much damage as the Rifleman trying to back away once more. This is not looking good for Romantic. Romantic in a weird spot there. Tauren Chieftain was about to put his foot down, but no, the Blood Mage says no thank you as we're looking at Chain Lightning still bouncing around there. Tauren Chieftain going to get a foot down now, and look at the stomp right there. Half a dozen units just staying in place as the Siphon Mana stops all of the Farseer once he gets in another, well, summoning of those Spirit Wolves. So mana management is the key here as the Riflemen are getting just a shot apart. Tauren Chieftain now gets up to level 4. We're going to be looking at level 2 Endurance Aura when the time comes, banishing out all of these units here. Lightning Shield still coming back across. We're going to see a Shaman get taken down easily because of the armor type as the Paladin now gets up to level 5. Level 5 Paladin, is he going to go for a, yes, level 3 Devotion Aura? So auto attack damage is just going to be so difficult to try and take down these Riflemen who essentially now have 2-4 upgrades on their armor. All right, Siphon Mana again. There's a Holy Light as the Tauren Chieftain tries to break through. Paladin with 400 hit point heals, still over-healing all of these. But as I've said it in my videos before, the higher your unit's armor is, the more effective healing is. So healing 200 hit or 400 hit points on a 2 armor unit is very different than healing 200 hit points on an 8 armor unit. When you compare how much damage was absorbed, it's what I call effective hit points, and well, it's the reason why this strategy works out so well. All right, Paladin continuing to fight his way through though, as the lines are all kind of broken. This is not the spot that Romantic wants to be fighting in. That Lightning Shield adding in all of that additional AoE damage, spell damage is how you are able to really deal with a lot of this here, as the Paladin does have an invul potion and could be in a little bit of trouble. Both sides just suffering heavy losses as the Paladin is trying to Holy Light his way through and stay alive. All right, Paladin's down to 175 hit points. Are we going to see any more healing? That Paladin's still wandering around here. Are we going to see another Holy Light onto another unit? There's another Holy Light there. That one Rifleman not going to be nearly as lucky as we see another Ensnare go down. All right, units are just trying to stay alive here. That gift-wrapped Rifleman not going to be able to break free easily as the Paladin still fights his way through. Remember, the Paladin is a strength-based hero, meaning that his natural regeneration is still fairly strong. As the Blood Mage absorbs quite a bit of damage, the Paladin is just dancing on the outskirts, so to speak, trying to stay alive here. Tauren Chieftain will not be able to get in a stomp. Are we going to see an ensnare? That Paladin is in some serious trouble. He's going to try to go buy something from the shop. Is he going to be able to buy it? Yes, he does have a Scroll of Town Portal. Is he going to be able to use it in time? Yes, he does. Now all of the Riflemen need to get close enough. That Rifleman may be too far away. Yes, he is too far away. Doesn't get the memo. And well, one Rifleman left behind. There's Scroll of Regeneration once more. Paladin also buying up a potion of healing as well. Should be picking up a clarity potion next. No, picking up another Scroll of Regen. No clarity potion, oddly enough, as the supply count, 39 supply going up against 41. Lin finally taking that lead back, and look at all of these low hit point raiders and shaman that, well, were not picked off. That is going to be the big deal there. Also, a Blood Mage needs a little bit more mana as well. Needs to find someone to siphon mana from. The Grunt, well, taking quite a bit of damage as the Tauren Chieftain able to break free. All right. Army of Riflemen, 2-1 upgrades. We are not getting any additional upgrades here. 39 over 62 supply. Wants to perhaps wait until he is in on the cusp of low upkeep. Chain Lightning bouncing around there. There's another Lightning Shield. Invul Potion onto that Tauren Chieftain as well. We're going to see one Grunt get taken down. And now also a Scroll of Healing here. Both sides are still pushing their way through. It is the armor types that are making a difference here. The Grunts are the ones that are dealing the majority of damage. There's that Scroll of Healing that we mentioned earlier, how important it could be. There's a Holy Light, and you can see that, well, this Rifleman was just absorbing damage for so long, and then all of it was pretty much healed. Tauren Chieftain now, is he going to get surrounded here? No, well, he's kind of in a tough spot. We're going to see some more mana get siphoned away again. Militia getting called over, and there's that Scroll of Regen, allowing all of these units to, well, venture forth again. Paladin may try to buy an invul potion once more, or a scroll of healing, or something. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There's that scroll of healing. As a peon, gonna get, well, nope, not gonna get cleaned up there. All right. This one, the laboratory, not getting cleared out earlier by Romantic. Actually, a bit of a surprise for me. And the Blood Mage wants to find targets that actually have a mana, such as this Forest Troll High Priest, and just, well, refill his mana back up to full. Any damage taken is going to be easily mitigated by that Paladin here, as we see Priest now joining in on the battlefield, most likely for adept training to help deal with that Lightning Shield. The Lightning Shield has been the big problem, and the big way these Riflemen have been absorbing damage and then slowly getting finished off. Tauren Chieftain now looking to back up here. There's a Magnetar Reaver. Blood Mage gonna hide in the background corner here, and we see a little bit of damage. Are we gonna perhaps see some banish onto those units? No, we are not. Magnetar Reaver gonna get pulled the other way, and now try and chase down this Blood Mage. All right, so both sides still, well, trying to finish off this rather high-level creep camp, and who is going to be able to gift wrap it faster? That is the question, as a little bit of damage goes down. All right, the creeps are getting exchanging blows. Tauren Chieftain is still getting healed up here with that, with that healing salve. So that is an important point to note as well, as the Blood Mage tries to get close enough. Who's going to get the experience? Blood Mage gets the experience. Who gets the item? Tauren Chieftain, I believe, gets the item. Yes, he gets the devotion or no, claws of attack plus 12 on the Paladin. So claws of attack plus 12 on that Paladin, dealing much bigger damage now, as we see a big stomp in the back followed by a chain lightning. All right, that stomp really taking those units out of commission for a rather long time. We see another stomp right there, as the Holy Light is going to be saving some of those Riflemen here. Riflemen are just trying to stagger. Peasants are coming off the line once more. There's that Tauren Chieftain. He's just getting constantly banished and out of the fight here, alongside one of those Riflemen who does end up staying alive. All right, Priest jumps in the front of the grunt there in order to prevent the retreat. We could see some more siphon mana into that Paladin. Blood Mage is sitting at level 5. There are still a couple more creeps here. Ogre Magi, the Blood Mage desperately wants to siphon mana from that Ogre Magi. Yeah, gonna go ahead and siphon mana from that Ogre Magi pretty easily, and then perhaps siphon mana from that Shaman as well. All right, Blood Mage already back up to 300 mana, picks up a tome there, falling back now. All right, we're looking at 45 supply going up against 49. 45 supply going up against 49. Army sizes are still comparable. Decent amount of gold saved up in the bank by Romantic. Army making its way off to the north, still sitting on 2-1 upgrades, not getting that last armor bit of upgrade. Thank you for the sub. I can't, I'm assuming that these are YouTube subs, since I don't have that many people actually watching me in this game. All right, well, not live anyways, but thank you for tuning in. Raiders looking to do some hit and run tactics. Paladin, a Blood Mage, well, making their way off to the north here. Seal is going to get cleaned up. All right. Coming through. All right. Tauren Chieftain is at 5. Farseer is at 5. And this may come down to who's going to be able to snowball first. Being able to get to level 6 on that Paladin is going to be huge, as we see as the Tauren Chieftain has quickly transitioned into Shockwave. No more mana there. A little bit of focus fire damage, more siphon mana. Blood Mage using an invul potion, as the Paladin is going to be forced to try and Holy Light that Blood Mage soon. Blood Mage could be in a little bit of trouble. Is he going to get taken down? He is going to get banished himself and then get Holy Lighted, pretty much healed back up. Are we going to see a resurrection next? That is the big question, as we see a Shockwave rip on through all of those units. All right, Paladin going to head back here. That's a lot of dead units. Are we going to see a resurrection? Yes, we are. 3 Riflemen come back there. And, well, that is a big... That is a big deal. All right, apparently I tapped a USB cord that made me... Well, one of my external capture cards were, like, trying to reset, I guess. Anyways, Paladin coming back around. Scroll of regeneration. Everyone's going to join this healing party. Yes, right there. Everyone joining the healing party. Peasants going to retreat back. There is no more mining. Only long distance mining as the peons are going to be heading to that northern position. Paladin making his way off to the north. I believe that resurrection does have a fairly long cooldown. And so it could be used in the next fight towards the tail end of it. Obviously, you don't open up with a resurrection since there are no corpses on the ground. Bunch of dead corpses right there, or bodies, but those must all be orc units. All right, Rifleman could be in a little bit of trouble. There's a Holy Light trying to save that Blood Mage. Blood Mage could banish himself. He's going to go ahead and banish himself and then siphon mana, the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain now out of mana, but he did use that Invul Potion. Banished also onto that Farseer. There's a Shockwave ripping on through all of those units. That is a big deal right there. A whole bunch of peasants low on hit points as the Tauren Chieftain, well, used a Potion of Mana in order to get just a little bit more here. All right, we're seeing still more damage. Holy Light trying to save all of these units. And those, well, 9 rifle, or those 3 additional riflemen perhaps making a big difference in this fight here as we see another banish onto a priest. All right, riflemen continuing to make their way forward, and I believe, yes, that will be the game. Being able to get an extra 9 supply into this fight, really the big difference there. Remember, yeah, 9 supply. So instead of having a 45 supply army, would have been at 36. 3 riflemen making all the difference. Here are the final scores. Resource score, being able to get to level 6, the Paladin's resurrection being the big difference there. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.